Hi, Matt here, and welcome to my channel. On today's Matt's World DIY, I want to talk to you about doorknobs. Yes, doorknobs. You may need to change a doorknob, whether it's an interior door or an exterior door, and it could be for a variety of reasons. It might be because you no longer have a key for that door, or the doorknob no longer works, or the aesthetic is not right anymore. So let me show you in 3 easy steps how to change a doorknob. So let's get to it. This project requires only a few basic tools like a Phillips head screwdriver, an optional drill set with a Phillips tip, and the doorknob itself. Now this doorknob I got off of Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description if you would like to check that out for yourself. Now opening the box, it comes with a handy dandy Phillips head screwdriver if you don't have one. It also comes with the doorknob, and this is one for my back door, so it does have a lock, and it comes with the strike plates. Included in this set is obviously the Deadbolt, which you'll need, especially if you have an external doorknob. You get your screws, and of course also you get a nice handy set of keys. This is probably the simplest part of this job, and it's removing the old hardware. I'll start with the strike plates, and all you have to do is remove 2 screws, and then they will pretty much simply pop off into your hand. Then remove the 2 screws off of the inside edge of the door, and these screws hold the internal workings for your doorknob and lock set. Then you'll go ahead and remove the 2 screws on the inside of the door that hold the deadbolt together, and it just slides right out. Then pull that internal mechanism out, and it might need a little encouragement, but just, give it a little muscle and you'll get it done. Now move on to the doorknob and remove the 2 screws from there. And these are really long screws, by the way. And the outside doorknob will slip right off into your hand. And again, pull that internal mechanism out. Now, if you need a little help, put a screwdriver inside the center hole and then pull that, and the mechanism will come out. Now we get to move on to installing the strike plates. You have 2 strike plates, one for the deadbolt and then the other one for the doorknob. The one for the doorknob has that little wave at the end to help guide the lock into place. You have 2 screws, go ahead and put them in. I'm installing a longer screw down here because it will provide additional safety. It makes it a little bit more difficult for people to kick your door in. And also I needed to do that because I had to make some adjustments in the door jamb. I'm going to start with the deadbolt. Now on the deadbolt mechanism itself, it has an indicator printed on the metal that says up. Make sure that you have that facing in the up position because it's really critical. Here's the outside lock portion. Just slide it through the hole, and then you line up the 2 bars with the 2 holes on the sides. Now this has a little cross that's on the inside lock portion. You make sure you line that up properly with the internal mechanism, and then you'll find the 2 holes that the screws go into. You have to line that up. This is really kind of one of the hardest parts of this job, is doing this on the deadbolt as well as on the doorknob, finding those holes and lining them up. I started by using my hand to tighten up a little bit just to make sure I was getting the threads right, and then finish off with a little screwdriver. Then make sure you get the second one because you need it fully secure. And again, I started hand tightening, and then once I found the threads were properly done, I went ahead with the screwdriver and turned because these are long screws, and just test it out to make sure that the mechanism works smoothly. Now it's time to secure the internal mechanisms with 2 screws on that inside jamb of the door. Once you get those screws installed, go ahead and test it again to make sure that the mechanism operates smoothly, and mine does. So congratulations. And here, I would not advise using a drill to tighten that up because you don't want to over tighten those screws. Just use your handheld screwdriver and you'll be fine. And it still works. Now it's time to put the doorknob portion in. This mechanism is really important that you put it in the right way. Make sure that the low end hits the door jamb first, because if you do it the opposite way, the door won't even close. Once you have that inside, go ahead and line up the workings of the outside portion of the doorknob through the holes of the internal mechanism. And you may have to have a friend help you, or if you may have to use all of your fingers in your hand to just hold everything in place. Then line up the doorknob with the posts that receive the screws. And this is the tricky part. I will, again, I'm telling you, this is one of the most complicated, hardest parts of the job is getting that alignment perfect. And then again, I start by hand tightening to make sure I find the proper threading for the screws. And after I know that the screws are engaging properly, then and only then will I get the screwdriver out and start tightening up with my manual screwdriver. There is no way I could use the drill on this because the screws seem to be like behind the doorknob and you have to kind of tighten up at an angle. But that's okay. Just bring your patience. And I like to go left and then I'll go to the right screw, then the left screw, then the right screw, back and forth until it's fully tightened. Then go ahead and put your outside edge screws in, test it, and it works and you are done. So there you have it. Now I have a brand new doorknob on my back door and I know that it works. I know I have a key for it and it matches the rest of the door hardware in my home. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out some of my other videos I have on my other DIY playlists. I'll see you next time.